What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with Gab and Maui. Hello, guys. Sando Gab, back again.
Ba't ka naka-yellow ngayon?
Hindi gumana yung red kahapon. Hindi gumana yung good juju.
Dapat ata ngayon ka nag-red, Gab.
Dapat tinutuloy ko. Yung kahit brief na rin, yung nag-brief ako.
Kahit briefs mo.
Gumana kay Coach Tab, bro. Yung red brief daw siya, di ba? Sabi niya.
Red underwear, yeah. So we just watched the two games today on Sunday. That's why we're doing a back-to-back episode. Adamson, what a game against UE, beating UE, forcing a fight for the fourth place this Wednesday against Ateneo. And then on the second game, di na namin tinapos, guys. We actually started our recording
tinapos ko!
Before. Tapos naman
tayo ba?
Tinapos ko lang ka.
Sorry, sinet up ko na. Ay ko, wala na ito. Mukhang UP pa yung magta 39-point lead eh. Hindi yung NU eh. But anyway, UP beating down NU to secure first place. So now, the top 3 is set. UP is number 1. As expected, but it wasn't as easy as we expected. Diba? We all expected UP to be the favorite team. It wasn't as easy for them to secure number 1, but they did. So kudos to UP. LaSalle gets bumped up to number 2, getting that twice to beat advantage. And NU losing 2 straight games, coming from that loss against Adamson the other day, and then now losing to UP, goes all the way down to number 3. Now they have to face LaSalle and beat them twice. This sounds familiar, Maui, di ba? Napag-usapan natin to. This looks eerily similar to last season's Final Four race where NU was in the top 2 for most of the season, tapos biglang bumaba din sila at the end. And then Adamson fighting again for a Final Four spot. Instead of LaSalle, they're facing Ateneo this Wednesday. So let's go first to that first game, that crucial game for Adamson. They won against UE on, guess who? A Montebon 3, Matthew Montebon. We were talking about how clutch this guy is. Gab, take us through that first game.
That was the game of the season. The UAAP saved its best for last. Back-to-back threes to take each lead. There was a missed free throw by Magbuhos, and UE came down. Jack Dumont Cruz with the sidestep dribble and hitting a 3, and I thought it was over. Sabi ko, there's no way may sobrang good juju ang Adamson na makakashoot pa sila dito. But that was the same play they ran against Ateneo in the first round to get that Montebon corner 3.
To get to overtime, di ba? To get to overtime.
Yeah. That was the same play. With Montebon coming from the opposite baseline, a fake down screen, but instead got the flare screen to the corner. Wow. That's a tough shot. His feet were inches away from the sideline. He could have stepped out of bounds, but hit it over. Who's the one guarding him? Buti lang, malit sapatos niya. Pero, yeah, it was a tough contested 3. So, if I were UE, hats off na lang talaga. I mean, you can't do anything about that. For UE, there were rumors. Some of our subscribers were saying it also that they would play their bench players or other players who didn't get more run. I think that was mainly mind games by Coach Jack because he played Remogoat. Nearly the whole game. He was out for like a minute or less than a minute in the second quarter, but he was there the entire game. Didn't sub out in the second half. And I was surprised. Yep. I was surprised. I was surprised he still had the energy at the end game to try and get the ball. I mean, Remogat. Sorry, na-confused na ako sa Remogot saka sa Remogat. Remogat was running the offense by himself. Adamson was strapping him. They were being physical with him. at the other end, they were posting him up. They were trying to make him work on defense just to exhaust him even further. But I don't know how this guy actually finished the game. Kung ako si Remogat, sobrang mag-ice bath ako at the end ng game. Maghihingi ako ng 1 week vacation, even 1 month vacation sa UE because he played a hell of a game a while ago. Had a near triple-double, lacked 1 assist. But actually, another point I wanted to make, nung Jack Dumont, Cruz Dumont 3 to take the lead, I was scared that Momoway would dribble it off the floor because he did the exact same thing. Yeah. He did the exact same thing like a few minutes ago where he got the rebound, didn't opt to give it to
all the way down.
to Cruz Dumont or to Remogat. Just went all the way down, turned it over. I thought he was gonna do that, honestly. He dribbled already, but instead, smartly, gave it up. I was scared he was gonna do that.
Dun sa tres na yun ni Cruz Dumont, I don't think Remogat got to touch that ball. Kasi di ba, binabalang ni Momoe and then I think it went to Cruz Dumont na. So Remogat was calling for it pero he didn't get to touch the ball. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and on Adamson's side, free throws nearly did them in. They missed a ton of free throws in this game. I don't have the stats in here, but yeah, they miss a ton of free throws. UE miss a ton of free throws as well. Precious Momoway, I think, only hit 1
out of 7.
Game.
1 out of 7 si Momoway.
So, story of his season, so inefficient. Big counting stats, but he's very inefficient. Yeah, actually, pretty exciting game. Didat Hanapi hit a big 3 to give Adamson a 5-point lead in that fourth quarter. But UE just kept on coming back. And I love how this Adamson team just keeps on sharing the ball. You don't know where the offense is gonna come from talaga from this Adamson team. And for majority of this game, actually, I think baby boy Manzano was not a baby boy. He was a grown man in the paint, just dominating, using his shoulders, his elbows, his girth to get offensive rebounds, get inside points. He was a beast inside, and they would not be close to have a chance to winning this game if Cedric Manzano did not play the way he did. He was awesome. And the Battle of the Birds, Part 3 on Wednesday. I'm scared. Adamson has all the momentum coming into this game. Ateneo just came off a loss against LaSalle yesterday. Adamson looks like they're clicking, especially on defense. And I'm still not optimistic about Ateneo's chances, although I think they're gonna pull it off. Maui.
Wow, si Gab hindi na optimistic. Go, Maui.
Actually, yeah.
I was never optimistic about Ateneo's chances.
I would have to agree with Gab.
Si Maui pala.
Yung chances ng Ateneo for this Wednesday is it's 50-50 definitely. But Adamson having all the momentum in the world after this big win, this grind out win against UE, I think parang practice game na neto for the Final Four for this knockout match came at the right time. I thought they did a really good job getting Manzano involved. Maraming drop passes to Manzano that led to easy baskets. I also believe that Adamson really wanted the game more. They had 16 offensive rebounds. They had 18 second chance points versus UE's 2 second chance points. I just thought that si Remogat really did not want to quit. This guy just wants to play ball. He played 37 minutes, as Gab mentioned, almost had a triple-double. He cannot reach Kevin Kiambao for the MVP, but this is the best that he can do. Having 11 rebounds and 9 assists in a meaningless
Mythical
game.
5 siya.
Yes.
Ballers tayo for that. We called it.
Definitely, Remogat deserves to be part of the Mythical 5. He showed today that he belongs. It's crazy to think, no, guys. Remogat had two big games last season, which were meaningless games. And right now, he's second in the MVP race. He's gonna get into the Mythical 5 definitely. But yeah, this game was really about Adamson wanting it more. I thought that Cedric Manzano really imposed. He had 16 points, 10 rebounds, 4 steals. Manzano really did a good job matching up with Momoway. He grabbed a lot of offensive rebounds in traffic. And si Montebon, this guy is amazing. I mean, he's a super rookie for Adamson. I think this is his third playing year in UAAP terms because he played I think, in a community college in the US, and then uh, he had to do 1 year residency before playing this year. But this guy played a hell of a game from tip off. I think he scored 10 points in first quarter, but he ended up getting the game-winning shot. And like Gab, I'm scared. I'm scared for Ateneo this Wednesday. This Adamson team has proven this season that they are a team to be reckoned with. But to be frank, I think if we're talking about the better matchup for UP for the Final Four, I think it has to be Ateneo. So it's still Ateneo to lose for me. Ateneo's game to lose this coming Wednesday. This is a
I
good
think that's the
game.
reason why a lot of UP fans in MOA were cheering
Yeah.
for Adamson because
I think yeah.
honestly they've blown out Adamson twice this season. So I think they're rooting to get Adamson in the Final Four. Tama
Yeah,
na ba
I
ako?
agree. I agree, Gab, with what you said. Believe it or not, despite Ateneo having a down year, if you look at social media, Facebook, X, Twitter, UP fans have constantly been rooting against Ateneo to lose games because they still think that despite Ateneo struggling, they're still a team to be feared. And I think it's warranted, given the fact that Ateneo has been able to go toe to toe with UP in 2 games. Yeah, but yeah, definitely Adamson has, just like last season, has continued to surprise us. We have given praises, a lot of praises to the coaching staff, and I think it's warranted. They have done a good job with how Adamson has played. It's just that they have not been that effective, I guess, yung communication outside the court. They have been part of controversies, I would say, this season. But when you talk about how this team has played basketball, definitely Adamson has overperformed even more so than last season, losing their top 3 players plus sa Bandalas and still having the chance to make the finals four is definitely very impressive. I'm excited for Wednesday, but I'm scared as an Atenean. I think Ateneo has more to lose than Adamson this coming Wednesday. But yeah, we wanted more games. Now we're getting more games. See you on Wednesday, I guess. Sam.
See you on Wednesday. See you on Wednesday, pero hindi pa ata confirmed no, Maui, but I think MOA ang game on Wednesday. That's what we're hearing. Pero we'll see. We don't have the details yet then kung anong oras. You know, Adamson deserved to win this game. And Adamson deserves to fight for the Final Four slot on Wednesday. But, you know, kudos to UE also. 2 straight seasons, they've been fighting for a slot and, you know, coming up short, pero it's still a lot. This team and last season's team, they're still a lot more competitive than the previous UE teams that we've seen in the past, especially the recent teams, diba? It doesn't look like if you look at the win-loss record of UE, they don't look like a good team. I mean, obviously, mas marami silang talo. They missed the Final Four. But Maui, I think you're the one who shared yung tweet ni
Pongdocanes.
was it si
Add this to the list.
Pongdocanes?
Pongdocanes, yeah. Add this to the list. I
That's
think it's
true.
their 9th game that they've
Yeah,
lost. That probably, I think, the 9th
yeah.
game that they lost na they were in the game ng fourth quarter, having the lead or within single digits.
Yeah, exactly. So, few weeks back yun, they lost parang 6 of 8 games na they lost by single digits or like less than, they were leading in the fourth or they lost by like 4 points or something like that. So, it doesn't look like it, but I think it was a really good season for UE in the sense that they were really competitive. And I just want to say again, sorry to the UE community and the Adamson community because I had them very low on my preseason ranking when we started. Maui, you mentioned Adamson lost so many of their stars. Same thing with UE. They used to have Luis Villegas, who was a mythical 5 player last year. That's a big loss for them. Paranada Bros also left. So si Pagsanghan was also there last season. So really, you didn't expect both of these teams to be this good or be this competitive. So I think
I did. Adamson,
Gab, to be fair. So I think, we really have to give credit to the coaching staff of Adamson, to Coach Nash and the rest of his coaching staff. And to be fair to Coach Jack, both of them, I think, made the most out of their teams. Pero Adamson, tama kayo, this is a scary team, and what's scary about them is they're really very cohesive as a team, diba? May kita mo, everyone was contributing. They
Kahit
execute
sinong
their plays
ibunot mo
well.
from their bench, nagko-contribute eh.
Parang
yun yung
they know their roles.
Nag-season 84 for me, yung Adamson this year. And tama si Gab, anyone you call from the bench can contribute.
Definitely a dark horse contender for the Final Four. To make it to the championship. It's hard not to root for them. Yun lang din masasabi ko kasi they fight, they keep on fighting, and despite all the odds, they're here. They're fighting for another Final Four slot. Anything to add?
And it's because you see Jerome Lastimosa on the sidelines, and I love Jerome Lastimosa, so you can't help but root for them because Jerome Lastimosa is there. Such a lovable guy.
Yung jersey niya, no? Like every time he watches, suot din niya yung jersey niya.
And Nico Ramos was calling for him. You can stand him in the corner. You can shoot a 3. Bro.
Maganda rin yung
Torres ACL. Come on.
Nag-jersey swap sila ni Remogat nung end ng game, di ba? I think, Sam, I just want to add lang sa UE side, since this is their last game. This is different from last season. Last season, they outperformed with their lineup. But as you mentioned, a lot of those players had to go because they were graduating. The good thing about this UE team is next year, most of their key players will be back. I think si Abdul Sawat lang ang magagraduate sa UE. So this team is probably a dark horse Final Four contender, or even a potential twice to beat contender come next season. If Remogat continues to improve, it's gonna be crazy.
One note lang, you mentioned Abdul Sawat, and I do want to give this guy some flowers. He's had a pretty good season. He was a role player the past 2 seasons and was thrust into having a main front court role beside Precious Momoway. And I think in the game earlier, he had a lot of good plays, playmaking off the short roll, off the pick and roll. He dished off a couple of assists to Momoway for easy baskets. So, kudos to him, man. He's played really well at season 86. Yung point lang ni Maui is since most of the UE roster is coming back for season 87. Dapat, no? Unless magka-issue na naman kay Coach Jack. Pero
retention yung problema no?
Yun lang. So, I think this game showed what they're lacking and we've been saying what they're lacking is really just playmaking, because really they rely a lot on Remogat to do everything on offense. Sobrang halata even in the third and fourth quarters when Coach Jack Santiago just couldn't sub out Remogat. They need his playmaking. They need him to make plays. They need him to make assists. And grabe yung mga assists ni Remogat. Yung mga no-look, one-handed kick-outs, yung mga no-look bounce passes, yung off the pick and roll. This guy is a highlight reel every game. But yeah, that's a point for improvement. So if I were Jack Santiago, I would definitely look for more playmaking guards, yung playmaking wings in the off season, maybe to recruit some players who can do that. Because that's sorely what they lack. They already have a bunch of shooters. Welo Lingo has been a really good surprise for them. It was a knockdown shooter. And Cruz Dumont, I underestimated him in the preseason. He's performed well in spots. It's not been that consistent, but hit almost the game-winning shot a while ago. And yeah, if this roster comes back, just a few more additions to playmaking side. Sayang lang yung they lost Gerard Wilson. Pero if they can add more playmaking to this team, just not to rely too much on Raider Mogat to do everything for them, I think they could really contend for a Final Four slot next season.
Yeah, definitely. Gerard Wilson is gonna be back rin. Tas I think pati yung brother ni Cruz Dumont.
Cruz Dumont. Yeah.
Si Cruz Dumont, I think, has 1 or 2 years eligibility pa to play in the UAAP. So I think UE fans have to be looking forward for season 87 also.
All right. So we will be seeing, so that's the last game of UE. We will be seeing Adamson on Wednesday for the Final Four.
Malalaman na talaga
determine the
kung
Final
sino
Four
may
slot.
mas malaking bird.
Best of 3 nga naman, diba, to break the tie.
Best of 3, exactly. So
Break
this
the
is
tie.
going to be an exciting game, must watch definitely. And first time na Wednesday game pero hindi 4. Isang game lang. Salamat naman at isang game lang. Hindi nakakapagod. We will definitely do a podcast on that game. But let's talk about the next game. Kasi the next game was not even competitive.
Disappointing.
We expected it.
Disappointing.
Okay, I was trying to say it nicely. Pero
Bolero of the day, NU and Jeff Napa. What the hell, man?
Whoa, Gab. Sige. Take some time to relax and think about your thoughts. Maui, I want to hear your thoughts on that UP beatdown against NU. What happened there?
Madami-daming tumbler
Nagkape ako yung para gising ako for the NU-UP game eh. Pero snooze fest.
Kaya pala ang dami
Madami-daming-
mong energy ngayon.
Madami-daming tumbler wawasakin si Coach Jeff after how
Yayaman
NU performed.
Starbucks.
Yayaman Starbucks after they performed like that a while ago. But I think I'm probably more glad that this is not the finals that we'll see most likely. If it's gonna be NU against UP, I don't think it's gonna be very competitive. So now it's Lasalle's to lose because they get the twice to beat advantage after this game. I thought that UP really played a hell of a game. They showed how deep their lineup is. They showed how talented they are. I think I tweeted that they're too good, too strong, too powerful, too agile. I think this UP team, with all the hype that we've been saying the whole season, with all the hype that all the people have been saying all season, really showed their might. This is a top team. NU's a top team. They still end the season with a 10-4 record. But UP.
No, they're not. They're not a top team.
They played like UP played like UP played like they were playing UST. Sorry to UST. This was a beatdown from the get-go. I think the game started 10-0 with NU turning the ball over 5 times during the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game. I thought that LeBron Lopez really played with a lot of energy when they opened the game. I think LeBron Lopez's best game, Francis Lopez's best game of the season also came with NU during the first round. I think that the worst matchup for NU has really been UP because of their athleticism and because they can match up with how deep NU's lineup is. I thought that they did a really good job with Kian Baclaan. He wasn't able to get to his spots. They were trapping him constantly when he crossed the half court. I thought that Malik Diouf severely outplayed Omar Jan for the X time in the past few seasons. But yeah,
Omar Jan will be seeing Malik Diouf in his nightmares.
In his nightmares again.
He can't get over that. He can't get over that hump of Malik Diouf.
Yeah, so I think
Wala naman atang nakakalaban kay Malik Diouf.
No, but for NU to be a contender, it was really a test of if Omar Jan was going to be a top tier FSA, and his performance against Malik Diouf a while ago was was not really good. It hasn't been good the whole season, the whole off season. But I think what UP really showed how scary their team is. They won the game by 20 plus points, and their top scorer had 13 points. Most of their lineup contributed. CJ Cancino hit some crazy jump shots nung third quarter. I thought that si Cyril Gonzalez has really broken out. He has played very well the past few games for UP. This is scary. I mean, si JD Kagulangan, I was talking to my dad, I mentioned it's JD Kagulangan and Alarcon time. And JD Kagulangan started the game with 2 alley-oops to Francis Lopez. He really controlled the tempo of the game nung start and really did a good job on Kian Baclaan. I thought that only, to be frank, I think only Figueroa and Manansala had a fight in them during this game. Si Figueroa played his usual role and really fought tooth and nail even when they were trailing a lot. Si Manansala started to get things going for NU during the start of the game, but really I thought that NU was severely overmatched. To be frank, overmatched against UP. UP was just too big, too strong, and too athletic, and too deep for NU to be able to match up during this game. UP is scary. I mean, we've been saying this throughout the whole season, and I think they proved it today. Gab, what are your thoughts?
Well, I put this more on NU than I do on UP. Don't target me. Alam ko mga UP fans yung madaling matrigger yan eh.
Yan naman yung mga statements kaya ako target.
I think that this was more on NU than it was on UP. I thought NU looked flustered because this is how UP plays. They really play this way every game. They pressure the ball. They toe the line of, will you call a foul on us? Because they will put their hands on you on defense. They will bump you. They will gamble. They will do everything on defense. They will scrap because yun nga, they're deep and they have Malik Diouf at the back, who's such a great defender. I'm just amazed about how many times Malik Diouf can contest a shot on the other side of the court, then appear right there when an NU player gets an offensive rebound, and he's right there. How are you getting back? He's just an amazing defensive presence. So, yun, and NU band's lack of composure talaga. I thought that nahuli sila ng UP flat-footed in that first quarter. So many turnovers, offensive fouls left and right. Just couldn't get anything going. And every time, actually, to be fair to NU, they did cut the lead down and they did come back. They did weather that early storm by UP. They cut the lead down to 6 a couple of times, both in the second quarter and both in the first quarter, second quarter, and in the third quarter. But every time the same problem turns out for NU. They can't string together buckets consecutively. They can't score a lot consecutively. They can grind on defense. They can get stuff. And they got stops. They got a ton of stops a while ago, but they just couldn't convert. The same story from season 84. Actually, sabi ko, Bolero of the day ang NU and si Jeff Napa. Totoo yan. Because I had Jeff Napa as my coach of the year in our this or that episode a few videos ago.
A few days ago.
Yeah. A few days ago. But honestly, what has changed now for NU? They're back to third. The same story as season 85.
Same as season 85.
Yeah, so disappointing for NU. I'm not confident in them just getting a championship. I think they're a Bolero contender. There's no way they can contend for a championship. Not with how they're playing, not with this performance against UP. They show that they're no match for UP. They're just no match. No way. If ever they can beat LaSalle twice and go to the finals, there's no way they're beating UP. Not even once. That's how highly I think of UP. and how deep they are and how amazing they are on defense. Again, we all talk about their depth and how- their offensive skill set and their talent, but it's their defense really that allows them to be so dominant. Watch how they help. Watch their instincts to know when a player turns around. Oh, we're swiping from behind you. We're trapping from behind. Uh, Watch how they help off the weak side. Amazing defensive game from NU. And I know a lot of people will look at the box score and how everyone contributed, but it was their defense really that brought them this win and this dominant win over NU. Snooze fest talaga. There was no way NU was coming back with the way they played offense. I'm so disappointed with NU, man. I'm so disappointed. Sammy, Maui.
Just to add, no, I think nung Wednesday when we were looking forward to this game, one of the things that I did note was I was worried about NU's players being too tired from the game last Wednesday that they were trying to win against Adamson. They played top players played heavy minutes, and it sort of showed here. As you mentioned, Maui, actually I only got to saw most parts of the first half but most of the second half. And pagdating ng second half, parang si Figueroa na lang lumalaban talaga eh. I think the players were really affected or got tired then from Wednesday's game, whereas UP looked well rested. And they also got to rest today, which I think is a good thing for UP because, number one, they got to play the bench players. We got to saw Seven Gagate, Pablo play. Si Chico Briones came in, tira agad siya, happy that a lot of them got to play. But also more crucial is like the starters got to rest. They didn't get to play too much heavy minutes. I think one of the commenters sa previous episode natin sabi niya, is UP the one that's peaking at the right time? Parang is UP the hottest team? And I told him, I think UP is peaking also because they're getting their key players back. They're getting healthy. So at least yung factor na yun. I would say LaSalle is still the hottest team because LaSalle just beat everyone in the second round. But I think 8 straight wins. But I think UP is scary because they're finally getting all their players back. It's a healthy team that's well rested because they've been beating all the teams that they faced recently badly, diba? So it's all a beat down. So they get to rest and then they get to play their bench players. So UP is a scary team. UP is a scary team. Whether it's Ateneo or Adamson, medyo mahirap to beat UP twice, to be honest with you. With the way, if they play like this, it's kind of hard to beat UP twice. Anything to add, Maui, before we move on to like a short topic I wanted to discuss?
Yeah, I think
Steve Nash came back. So
yeah, Steve Nash is back. So complete na rin ang
Good for
NU. Si
him.
Padrones has been playing the past few games.
And wala nang mask, no? Si Padrones.
Meron, he had a mask kanina.
Ay, nga pala, meron
I don't know if
kanina.
he removed
Si
it
De Los
in second
Reyes
half,
pala.
pero yeah.
Si De Los Reyes pala yung isa, naisip ko.
Yeah, I think just to add about UP picking at the right time, I would argue and say that UP does not need to pick. They have the best lineup from top to bottom since the off-season.
Yun na yun.
I mean, it's crazy to think that this UP team has been the best since the start of any off-season games. I think when we envisioned these lineups, we knew that UP was definitely the team to beat. And they have proven that they are indeed the team to beat. Their only loss this season was an overtime game against Ateneo. And the game that against LaSalle, that Malik Diouf and Kagulangan did not even play. So, may mga asterisk, kumbaga, in my opinion. So, yeah, definitely, UP could have easily swept, as we've been saying the season, we've been saying all season, could have easily swept the elimination round. But they have opted to rest their players. They have opted to give other players opportunities to shine also. And I think this has been beneficial also during this late stage of the season. I think one of the players is si Cyril Gonzalez, just had a very good game also kanina. So I think they definitely have the deeper lineup versus any lineup in the UAAP. So with Gab also saying that yung pressing defense nila and them having the luxury to play a lot of players, they have definitely trained and prepared all of these players to be ready for the Final Four and the finals. I think that's more important than even getting the sweeping the eliminations. I think that's just something I wanted to add.
Okay. Gab.
No, I just thought the NU just couldn't adjust to the pressing defense, the trapping defense that UP put on them, and I'm not positive with their chances anymore. NU, I was positive first. Actually, parang last year ganito rin yung feelings ko sa NU. Parang, uy, number 1 ng ANU. Ganito, uy, yung tied for first ng ANU, yung second sila, they look like a contender. Towards the end of the season, parang
Nawawalan ng gas.
Yung nawawalan sila ng gas eh. So, I don't know, they look like parang a fake contender to me. The early part ng season, all highs, and now totally opposite to Lasal. Lasal has been on the rise.
Yeah.
And he was trending down. They lost to Adamson and now they lost to UP badly. So, I think we're going for a UP LaSalle finals, honestly.
Actually, that was my last question with the end, technically, diba, the end of the official round 2. We will have a match for Final Four. Do you think it's going to be a UP LaSalle championship finals, or do you think otherwise?
Yeah.
Given the results from the weekend.
Honestly,
Yes.
I would say yes. It would be LaSalle LaSalle UP finals. I think history shows din eh, di ba? Twice to beat advantage in the UAAP is very hard to overcome. So most likely the top 2 teams with the twice to beat advantage will meet in the final.
The last team to do it, I think, was UST ironically, against UP. But yeah, UST in 2019 did overcome a twice to beat advantage. So that was the last team. But yeah, so it's hard to get over that twice to beat advantage.
Last question. If you were to choose a team that could get that win 2 straight games in a row, that could surprise, let's say, a LaSalle or a UP, sino dun sa tatlo? Adamson, Ateneo, NU? Gab.
I think you know what I'm thinking, man. I'm playing.
Go.
I'm playing the homework card again, good sir. Playing the homework card, and if there's one team, it's Ateneo. I don't think Adamson has a chance against UP. They've been blown out twice. They don't. I don't think they'll even get close to UP. Honestly, if there's one team that could upset UP, it's possibly Ateneo, but I'm not optimistic. I've said this multiple times before, even in the comments when we reply to our subscribers. I'm not optimistic about Ateneo's chances, even if they make it to the Final Four. I know a lot of UP fans are scared for Ateneo, but if I were you, I'm not. Have you seen the way this Ateneo team plays? Good God. No, there's no way they're getting 2 straight. But yeah, if you were to pick one, I've lost confidence in NU. Just how they played a while ago, I've lost total confidence in them. I don't think they have a shot of beating LaSalle twice. Ateneo, just the one big fight in me. Maybe they could pull it off, but highly unlikely. Maui.
Yeah. I would hate to say it. Maybe they would say that we're biased since we're mostly Ateneans. But really, if you look at yung matchups din kasi from this season, I think Ateneo has proven that they have been able to match up pretty well with UP dun sa 2 games, even getting that 1 win via overtime. So if you were to ask me of all those 3 teams, definitely Ateneo. But we don't even know if Ateneo will make it to the Final Four. But that's the crazy thing about it. But I mentioned it kanina, if you were to choose a more competitive game, definitely it would be Ateneo versus UP versus UPE versus Adamson. In my opinion, I think based on the Gab mentioned Adamson getting blown out twice during the elimination round. So definitely, if I were to pick, definitely Ateneo of the three teams. Much like Gab, I have lost faith in NU. I think that they are a bolero. Much like last season, it's the same story. They have not been able to get over the hump. It's a sad reality that they probably have to accept. It's something that we didn't even predict. We thought all this while that NU was a real contender, but unfortunately, it's the same story for this season. They slide to number 3 and overcoming a twice to beat advantage against, as you mentioned, Sam, the hottest team in the UAAP. I don't think their chances are really good. Even worse than Ateneo beating UP twice. But to be honest, much like Gab, I don't think it's also possible. I've said this a million times to my dad, who is very optimistic and very unrealistic when it comes to Ateneo's chances. I don't think that Ateneo can beat UP twice, but if it's gonna happen, it's probably gonna be Ateneo. Maybe Hail Mary. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, the answer is, well, the obvious answer is Ateneo. Again, bago nyo sabihin na bias. Tama naman kayo, di ba? Just looking at the two games of Ateneo against UP and LaSalle, Ateneo, I think, is the only team that beat both teams, UP and LaSalle. And it's been close, even the losses of Ateneo. So that's why we're saying there's a team dun sa tatlo, maybe Ateneo could upset LaSalle or UP in the finals, or even like versus UP if they make it to the Final Four. But for me, I think a nice Cinderella story would just be Adamson. That's why I asked this question. People wrote off Adamson as soon as Jerome Lastimosa got injured. They lost Maui, you mentioned it already. They lost a bunch of their players, but they just keep on fighting and they keep on winning like these close games. So it would be a really nice Cinderella story also for Adamson to sort of make it to the Final Four and surprise UP. But again, just like the two of you, I think any of those three against UP or LaSalle, if I had to pick them to win twice in a row, no way. Mahirap. It's really hard to win against LaSalle and UP the way they've been playing and beating them twice in a row. So that's it. That's it for today's episode. Definitely, we will be doing an episode come Wednesday to talk about that Ateneo Adamson game, where we will finally know who will be playing against UP in the Final Four. So stay tuned for that. Comment down below your thoughts. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.